Hello gardeners, welcome back to Smart Garden, where we dig deep into the secrets that transform ordinary plots into thriving ecosystems. Today, I'm thrilled to share something truly extraordinary with you, a forgotten technique that our ancestors understood, but modern gardening has somehow left behind. We're talking about a clay-ferment recipe that creates what I call a living crust, and trust me, once you understand how this works, you'll wonder why anyone ever relied solely on expensive commercial fertilizers and soil amendments. Let's be honest about something that most gardening channels won't tell you. Those premium soil boosters you've been buying aren't giving you the whole picture. Synthetic fertilizers can actually kill beneficial soil microbes, creating a dependent cycle where your plants need more and more chemical intervention just to survive. Even organic amendments, while better, often fail to address the fundamental issue. Your soil isn't just a storage container for nutrients. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that needs microbial life to function properly. I've watched countless gardeners invest hundreds of dollars in fancy amendments, only to see their plants struggle with disease, poor water retention, and disappointing yields. When you dump quick-release fertilizers onto depleted soil, you're essentially trying to build a house without a foundation. The nutrients wash away, the soil structure remains poor, and you're left wondering why your neighbor's seemingly neglected garden outperforms your pampered beds. The solution to building truly fertile, resilient soil has been hiding in plain sight, using three humble ingredients: clay, sugar, and milk serum. I know this sounds bizarre, but the science behind this combination is revolutionary. Clay is the unsung hero of soil structure. Natural clay harvested from about 8 inches below your topsoil has an incredible cation exchange capacity, meaning it acts like a nutrient sponge. Clay particles are negatively charged, attracting and holding on to nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and potassium, preventing them from washing away with every rain. But clay alone can be dense and lifeless, which is where fermentation comes in. The milk serum we're using is a concentrated solution of lactic acid bacteria, or LAB, the same beneficial microorganisms found in yogurt and kimchi. These bacteria are absolute powerhouses in the soil, suppressing harmful pathogens, breaking down organic matter into plant-available nutrients, and even fixing atmospheric nitrogen. When you introduce billions of these beneficial microbes into your garden, you're inoculating your soil with a microscopic workforce that works around the clock to feed your plants. The sugar component serves a dual purpose. Initially, it feeds the lactic acid bacteria during fermentation, keeping them active and multiplying. When applied to your soil, it provides a quick energy source for the microbes, helping them establish colonies rapidly. Together, these three ingredients create a synergy that transforms dead, compacted clay into a living, breathing medium that nurtures plant life in ways that synthetic fertilizers simply cannot match. Let's dive into the practical process of creating this garden gold. The first step is cultivating your lactic acid bacteria serum, starting with something remarkably simple: rice wash water. Take a cup of uncooked rice and rinse it thoroughly with clean water, collecting that cloudy, starchy liquid in a glass jar. This rice wash contains wild LAB from the rice itself. Cover your jar loosely with a cloth or lid that's slightly ajar to allow gases to escape while keeping out insects. Place this jar in a cool, dark spot away from direct sunlight and let it sit for 2 to 5 days. You'll know it's ready when the liquid develops a slightly sour, fermented smell, similar to sourdough starter. Now comes the fascinating part. Strain off the top liquid from your rice wash, discarding any sediment at the bottom. Mix this strained liquid with milk at a ratio of 1 part rice water to 10 parts milk. You can use any type of milk, whole, skim, or even expired milk works perfectly. Over the next 5 to 7 days, the milk separates into 3 distinct layers. The top layer consists of curds, the bottom contains heavier solids, and the middle layer, that beautiful yellowish serum, is your concentrated LAB solution. Carefully extract that middle layer using a turkey baster or by gently pouring it off. This is your liquid gold. For long-term storage and to keep your bacteria viable, mix this serum with an equal amount of unsulfured molasses or brown sugar, stirring thoroughly. The sugar keeps the bacteria dormant but alive. Stored in an airtight container in your refrigerator or a cool, dark place, this serum can remain viable for months. With your lab serum prepared, it's time to create the actual living crust. Start by harvesting natural clay from beneath your topsoil. Dig down at least 8 inches to find clay that hasn't been contaminated with chemicals or depleted by surface weathering. Mix this clay with enough water to create a smooth, pourable slurry, similar to pancake batter in consistency. Run this clay slurry through a sieve or screen to remove any rocks, sticks, or large debris. You want a smooth mixture that will make intimate contact with your soil surface. Now for the crucial step, dilute your stored lab serum at a ratio of about 1 part serum to 500 parts water. This might seem like a tiny amount, but remember, you're introducing billions of bacteria. A little goes a long way. Mix this diluted serum thoroughly into your clay slurry. The application technique is where this method really shines. Spread your clay lab mixture over the soil surface in your garden beds, creating a thin layer about 1/4 inch thick. Then immediately cover this with a generous layer of organic mulch. Wood chips, straw, or shredded leaves work beautifully. This mulch layer protects the living crust from drying out and creates the perfect dark, moist environment where your beneficial bacteria can thrive and multiply. Within days of application, you'll begin to see the magic unfold. The lactic acid bacteria immediately begin colonizing the clay layer, creating a sticky, gel-like matrix that attracts other beneficial organisms. Earthworms, drawn by the microbial activity and protected by the mulch layer, move into this zone and begin aerating the soil and creating channels for water and air movement. The clay particles, now coated with bacterial biofilm and earthworm mucus, begin to aggregate into larger, stable crumbs. This is, honestly, the holy grail of soil structure, aggregation that creates pore spaces for air and water while still retaining nutrients. Your previously compacted, lifeless clay transforms into living soil, where biological activity drives nutrient cycling rather than chemical interventions. The water management benefits alone are worth the effort. The living crust acts as a two-way membrane, absorbing rainfall and irrigation water quickly, then slowly releasing it downward into the root zone while preventing upward evaporation. During dry periods, your plants stay hydrated longer. During heavy rains, the crust prevents surface runoff and erosion while allowing water to infiltrate deeply. Gardens using this method maintain soil moisture for days longer than conventionally managed beds, dramatically reducing irrigation needs. The truly remarkable aspect of this Clay-Ferment method is that it gets better with time. Unlike commercial fertilizers that provide a quick boost followed by decline, this living crust builds upon itself season after season. The lactic acid bacteria establish permanent colonies, continually breaking down organic matter from your mulch layer and converting atmospheric nitrogen into plant-available forms. Over several months to a year, you'll notice your soil texture transforming from heavy clay to a rich, crumbly loam. Plants growing in this environment develop more extensive root systems because they're exploring a loose, well-aerated medium filled with available nutrients and water. Disease pressure drops noticeably because the beneficial bacteria outcompete harmful pathogens, creating disease-suppressive soil. The cost-effectiveness of this method cannot be overstated. Your initial investment is minimal, essentially the cost of milk and a bit of sugar, since clay and rice are likely already in your kitchen. Compare this to the hundreds of dollars many gardeners spend annually on bagged amendments, fertilizers, and disease treatments. You're not just saving money, you're building a self-sustaining system that requires less intervention over time. I encourage you to start small with this method. Choose one bed or even just a few square feet to experiment with your first batch of living crust. Document your results with photos, noting changes in plant vigor, soil texture, and water retention. The beauty of this technique is that it's forgiving. You don't need perfect ratios or scientific precision. If you found this guide valuable and you're excited to try creating your own living crust, please subscribe to Smart Garden and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into forgotten gardening wisdom. Share this video with your fellow gardeners, especially those struggling with poor soil or looking to reduce their dependence on expensive commercial products. Leave a comment below about your experiences with soil building, and let's create a community of gardeners who understand that the real magic happens beneath the surface. Happy gardening, and here's to transforming your garden from the ground up.